Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Darren Zaslow with you. Here to my left is Newport Gulls field reporter Dave Peck, and to my right, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Stone Freeman. Dave, we'll start with you right now. A Newport team offensively that is looking very strong, coming off a 20-3 win over Valley this past Monday, a 22-hit output for this Newport team. How big was that?
Huge. Biggest game of the season, 20-3 win against the first place Valley Blue Sox. You know what that tells me, Darren? That tells me we can beat anybody in the conference if you just have a good approach and you kind of get things rolling. It's all about gelling, and the bats are starting to come alive. Eric Miller had a great outing to pick up the win. He's had a lot of run support in the past. We look to just continue that trend. I think there's a great vibe around the team right now. Obviously, we're playing a very good, very impressive Ocean State team who is ranked third, I believe, in summer collegiate baseball teams around the country. So this is a great test to see what this offense and what this pitching staff can do coming off a great win against another great opponent.
Eric Miller did get the victory in that ball game. He is now 2-0 on the season, the southpaw out of Stanford. Dave, you had a chance to interview him. Talk to me. What have you seen from Miller thus far, and what has allowed him to be so successful?
He's really been pounding the zone. He's got great velocity on his fastball, and he's got great command. And those two combinations can be deadly, especially in this league. He talked a lot about going after batters early with the fastball, maybe the first time through the lineup, just to kind of get a sense of, he's not very familiar with a lot of these players like they are in college when they play several times, but it's early in the season, so he's starting to get a sense of how they will react to his ball, and by the second or third time around, he may try and mix things up based on tendencies he's seen and his rapport with the catcher, Ty Duvall. So, you know, he just did a great job of making the batters a little bit uncomfortable and pressuring them to put the ball in play.
It was a rainout yesterday against the Keene Swamp Bats in a doubleheader up in Keene, New Hampshire. Dave, you think it was a nice off day for this team coming off a big win like that?
Yeah, I think any off day is nice, especially when it's such a long season like that. But honestly, it would have been nice to see how the team responds the next day, playing a doubleheader. You got a twin bill up in Keene after a 20-3 win. It would have been a nice, mental test, I guess you could say. But they'll take the off day and kind of focus on today going forward and take care of the rest of the week. It's all about winning the week in the NECBL. So let's see if they can get one today.
Newport 5-11 entering play here tonight. Ocean State, on the other hand, outright in first place with an 11-3 record in the NECBL's Southern Division. Stone, well, what it comes down to, pitching for this Ocean State Waves team, a 2.58 team ERA. That is the best in the NECBL. Once again, this pitching staff is continuing to dominate.
Yeah, right now I think that's really what they're writing home about. And the offense coming off the best victory last night, 14-1. But when you put up 14 runs, the pitching staff kind of goes unnoticed. And it was Tasos Stathopoulos who told the Rubber he would go 5 innings just giving up 1 run. The bullpen has been lights out. As a staff, they struck out 11 batters last night in their victory at home. But this is a tough stretch for the pitching rotation and staff because we played 9 games in 8 days. This will now be 5 games in the next 5 days after playing a doubleheader on Monday versus Mystic and having a game last night back home at Old Mountain Field. So this really is the grind part of the season now, where they're going to only have 3 off days over the whole course of the month of July. It's going to test this pitching staff and the bullpen going deep into games, but right now you really can't complain. The 2 losses at Mystic, we'll kind of see over these next couple games if those are fluke losses or if that's really a storyline to follow. But after bouncing back last night with a 14-1 victory, you really can't complain if you're an Ocean State Wave right now.
Well, certainly the offense for Ocean State last night was excellent. Ocean State also just 99 team strikeouts offensively. That's the second lowest in the NECBL. Stone, and we've talked about this offense. What have you seen from them? Because from that number, it's an offense that really puts the ball in play effectively.
Sure. I've seen a lot of wins for the Waves. They get deep into counts. They're 9-mans and leadoff mans at Kyle Conger, Liam MacArthur. They see a lot of pitches, and that's something that yesterday in batting practice, working with the head coach of the team, Jimmy Sorrow, and the hitting coach, and Pete Clays, they really stressed to him that if you're striking out a lot, you don't know what pitches you want to hit quite yet. So it's about seeing a lot of pitches, and this is what summer baseball is all about, is getting to know yourself a little bit better as a collegiate player. And right now, these guys are seeing a lot of pitches, taking a lot of pitches, and working deep into counts. And in their wins, they're seeing 6 or 7 pitches in at bat. It's in their losses. At Mystic, I can think of, in both those losses, they're swinging on the first or second pitches they're seeing. And they're a fastball type of ball club where they like to hit that fastball, but if they see some breaking ball balls hit the dirt, they watch a couple fastballs go by them, they work really deep into counts, and that's really what's proved to pave the way on wins for these Waves this season.
Ocean State in first place in the NECBL Southern Division, like we talked about. Do you see a lot of confidence with this team? Where's this team's mindset at right now?
I do see a lot of confidence. I see these guys that are not afraid when they get up to the plate, but I also see starting from the leadership and the GM roles and Matt Finlayson and the owner and the coaching staff as well. They're not letting that number 3 get to these guys' heads, and understanding that last year when they were ranked number 6, they would go on to drop 15 of their next 21 games and really would knock them out of all contention to compete in the NECBL. Right now at 11-3, you have to be happy, but you're not comfortable, and that's what separates good teams from the bad teams. You see Newport, you know, they're always consistently in the NECBL in terms of competing, and it's teams that have confidence but understand they can always get better, and that's what the Waves are working at right now. This may be the first time in probably the history of the organization that they've really been a team that are circled on people's calendars, but it's a team that really they want to improve despite already being 11-3.
It's Ocean State and Newport here, Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. First pitch set for 6:35 p.m. For Dave Peck and Stone Freeman, I'm Darren Zaslow. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.